What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Let me bring the music down here, and hopefully no mute buttons were clicked like the last stream. I am doing better for those asking. I see TH asking if I'm feeling better. A little bit. My throat's still scratchy, a little sore still, but feeling a lot better than I was feeling a couple nights ago. 2 nights ago, I felt like I was absolutely getting, slaughtered. I don't know by what. It was, the body was warm, but I was shivering through the night. I felt horrible. And then I basically slept the whole day yesterday, completely stayed in bed. And given that it was FOMC today, market didn't really do a whole lot yesterday, so that worked out in my favor. I think there were a couple trades that you could have still made some money, but market didn't really do a whole lot. So got some meds in me, ate some food, got mostly rest, as much rest as I can. And today woke up on good time, felt good. Got to watch the market move around for the most part of the day, but for the most part of the day, just waiting and playing Skate Dot. So that's Skate 4 on Steam.com. Shout out to EA Sports. They came out with a pretty good game out there. But coming back to the market, I mean, FOMC today. You had the 25 beeps rate cut. Powell on the microphone later on. He was being asked a bunch of questions. Market moved around quite a bit, back and forth off of that again, and then eventually actually pushed all the way back to the upside. So very, very bullish moves across the board. And most importantly, something that stood out to me, at least, that was the sector that people in my Discord were talking about the most. That was the quantum sector. Quantum sector really blasting off to the north side today. In the after hours, IonQ had an extra positive catalyst, some deal with Micron, so that propelled the sector again even higher. You guys already know that I'm invested in RGTI. Even my dad owns a couple shares of RGTI, so we're enjoying the current rally through the quantum sector through IonQ. So lots of stocks to talk about. Don't really have a watch list. Didn't create a watch list. But one good news to mention that we are so much closer. We're one step closer to actually opening up my own office with Day Trade the World, or previously known as Day Trade the World, now known as Real Trading Prop. So one step closer. The box finally came in today. Now the next step would be obviously plugging in the box to the internet, running the system, downloading the software, and then funding myself, and then starting trading. So we are very close, probably by the end of this month. I don't see why not by the end of this month. I should be ready to go back to prop day trading, and I'm putting in brackets because prop is I'm no longer trading somebody else's money. I'm actually trading my own money now, but I still get access to the same funding, the same level of buying power that I previously had access to. So it's now more in the realm of a funded account instead of a prop account, but I'm still gonna call it a prop account at the end of the day, because this is one of the only real accounts where you are trading real markets, compared to like Take Profit or Trade the Pool, or some of these other prop firms, as they call themselves. They're trading CFDs. They're not trading real markets. So I'm actually going to be trading real markets, as I have been this whole time, but previously trading someone else's money, now risking my own money. So we'll be looking forward to see how that adventure plays out, and see if we can get rich quick, baby. That's what trading's all about, right? The get rich quick scheme. No, that's not what it is. But we're gonna be doing a whole lot of things different now that we're risking our own money. That's the plan. FOMC today. Lots of stocks to talk about, as I mentioned earlier, so let's not waste any time. Let's go to the full screen, and if you have any names, any stocks, any tickers that you want me to take a look at, throw it in the chat. We'll take a look at it. Quick disclaimer that none of the stuff that you see here is not financial advice. Everything's not financial advice. I'm just a day trader. Just trying to show you how I trade stocks, how I look at the market, how I look at information being given to me day to day, and if there is value found in there for yourself, maybe there's a reason for that for you to hit the like and subscribe. So hit the like, hit the subscribe if you enjoyed today's show. Let's go to the full screen. Why is my buttons not working? Full screen. There we go. The buttons finally worked. Full screen, currently you are seeing a chart of Tesla, a blank chart of Tesla. So let me just open up a couple things. A little unprepared here. Is the music too loud? Please do let me know, because we are going to fix that if it is too loud for you guys. Also, Twitch chat, or not Twitch chat, Twitter chat. I'm not able to move the pop out the chat anymore. So if you guys are talking to me on Twitter chat, I'm gonna have to catch you every now and then. All the other chats though, I see Alex, John Vaughn, Josh, TH, all of you in the chat up here. Twitter and Kick also, if you guys are in the chat, please do let me know. Type in some stocks that you want me to take a look at. First, starting off with the earnings board, if I remember correctly, there weren't too many hot names on the earnings board. Let's go here. Let's go to the earnings calendar. Nothing really tonight after hours. Today's actually Wednesday, so there is a couple things important today after hours. You have Cracker Barrel recently got annihilated, absolutely destroyed on the news that they were going to change their logo, and then all of a sudden they backtracked, they backpedaled, and they said, you know what, we're not going to remove our logo and change our logo, and the stock kind of stopped its descent since then. Another name that reporting earnings today is actually a recent IPO bullish. I'm interested to see how that one reported, so we're gonna dive deeper into both of them tomorrow after hours. That's an interesting name. The company that delivered this box to me today is actually FedEx, so we'll be looking forward to see how FedEx reports, seeing if they're having a little bit of a recovery. Last time I checked, FDX was doing horrible, and yeah, it looks like still under the 200-day moving average. Let's actually go to the chart with the indicators on it. Yep, still under the 200-day moving average on FDX, but you know, good names to keep an eye on. And SCHL, I'm very interested to see how this name sets up. Tried to break out today, failed. That's not what you want to see when stocks are doing so good after FOMC report. You know, you got the FOMC back and forth action and then popping right back up. So when stocks are doing that, you don't really want to see companies doing this where they're pushing back down. You hear two prads? Why is that? When stocks are doing so good after that's why, because I'm not muted on Twitter. Thank you. Because I'm not muted on Twitter. So you don't really want to see... I have to have the Twitter stream open just so I can catch the chat in case anyone types over there. But realistically, no one's going to type there. But thank you for letting me know, Josh. I appreciate that. I don't know why it unmuted itself. That's a little annoying. Anyways, coming back to the stock market for us to talk about... we're gonna have to create the watch list live in front of you. Actually, most of the watch list can be copy pasted from Friday's watch list, or was it Monday's watch list, and it would basically be the exact same thing we're taking a look at. On top of that, you're just adding the earnings catalyst name. So let's actually just do that real quick. Save me some time from having to think hard as to what positions we want to look at. CRBL, Cracker Barrel being one of them, BLSH being the other one. Do we have IPOs tomorrow to keep an eye out for? If so, then those will also have to go on the watch list. Let's go take a look at 18th. There is an IPO, Netscope. That's a big IPO. So taking a look at Netscope. Today we had StubHub. That was a pretty garbage IPO. Honestly, garbage for the longs, but great for the shorts. So if you were a short biased trader, StubHub closed below its IPO price, which is horrible. You don't want to see that. And StubHub is doing that at the moment on day one, closing below its IPO price. Tomorrow we got Netscope, NTSK, so making sure that we have that one on the watch list and we don't miss out talking and doing research about that later on in the day. NTSK. All right. Let's go to Benzinga. Because Benzinga sponsors us and helps us go through a lot of the earnings. Also helps us actually catch. Why is the color all dark over here all of a sudden? I didn't turn on dark mode on Google Chrome, did I? I think I did. But that's weird. Anyways, Cracker Barrel, Benzinga, awesome software. I actually use it every day now, more since I'm no longer sponsored by Trade Ideas. So Benzinga has now replaced my scanners. You guys can see over here how I have a live scanner that checks for price spikes, that shows me if stocks are moving drastically. Then I have some other scanners over here to see if stocks are which stock is the highest gaining and the highest loser stock on the day, and a bunch of other scanners that I've built myself over here for like the small cap sector. And then the news feed, the awesome news feed. And last but not least, the thing that I love the most about Benzinga, and the thing that I cannot live without, is the Benzinga Squawk. If you're a day trader and you're not using Benzinga Squawk, you're making a big mistake. Or any Squawk in general. You gotta have a source that can help you catch moving trades, momentum movers, because that's what day trading is mostly about, right? You can, there's swing trading in there too, but momentum trader is what a day trader is at the end of the day is, and you got to capitalize on these momentum moves. Most of them happen after hours, during an earnings report, during a news report, but when they do happen intraday, you want to be able to catch it while the move is still happening, while people are disseminating the news, not after they've disseminated the news and you're the last person to trade. And sometimes Benzinga Squawk helps you do that. So go check out this awesome software. Link for that below in the description. Cracker Barrel reporting earnings today. Let's see how they came out with. Whoa, looks like a big beat. Oh, never mind. I thought that said 555. At a glance of my eye, that said 555, not 855. It's a little bit of a beat, but not as big of a beat that I was imagining them pulling off over here. Adjusted EPS of 74 cents versus 80 cents, so that's a miss, obviously. Total revenue up 4.4% year over year. The company authorized a buyback of 100 million. Next quarter, Cracker Barrel expects, what is this, fiscal 2025 revenue 3.35 to 3.45 versus 3.47. Company anticipates full year adjusted EBITDA to be 150 to 190. Company executives will further discuss during the call, which is at 5 p.m. So we got about 15 minutes or so before the conference call starts. And looks like the stock actually didn't do too much in the after hours. That's why it's still white in color here. But it did drop today about 9%. I'm guessing that's what that is showing me. Or are they showing me, actually don't believe the colors anymore because the dark mode is on. So the colors are all going to be wrong. This might just actually be what the stock is down after hours. So let's go take a look at it to see how the stock reported to, how the stock reacted to that report today. Looks like, yeah, it did actually drop about 9% or more after hours, getting below the 200-day moving average recently after their whole, we're changing our logo debacle. I don't have a better word to use, so that's what I'm going to use over there. After their whole, we're changing our logo fiasco that played out, and now breaking that recent support low and pushing back lower, that shows you that there's potentially a little bit more room to the downside. Granted, that earnings report's not really as negative. They're still growing 4.4%. Is there a little bit of a different report that I can read? A smaller report that shows me exactly. This is the one I'm looking for. So they missed by 7.5% on the estimates for EPS, but they decreased also. They did not increase. They actually decreased 24.49% from same period last year on the earnings per share. Company reported, we know that they reported, and they beat a revenue by 1.49%. And however, they actually decreased by 3% on the revenue same period last year. So year to year, they're actually decreasing. But apparently over here, they're saying year to year, they're increasing 4.4%. Not sure who to believe now, because this one might be them reporting themselves, And this one could be Benzinga news desk, making the report, quickly reading the earnings catalyst and so on. So somewhere between losing to growing, so not looking good at the end of the day. Honestly, if you want the right answer, the right answer is always doing the dirty work yourself and getting down and reading the SEC filings, reading the papers, and seeing if they are growing or not. You can also have tools like Perplexity help you and do that SEC research for you. At the end of the day, there's only one game plan here that matters. What does the stock do on a pop into a 48.50? Does it keep getting bought up above 48.50 if it pops, or does it get sold off on pops into 48.50? Right now we are holding above 45, so potentially some support around 45, some support around 44. Earnings VWAP is also showing up right around $45. So potentially reclaiming earnings VWAP by pre-market, and then you get to play around this 48.50 as a resistance and then short 48.50. Or the stock just continues staying weak over here, sells off a little bit more tomorrow, and then when it pops to 45, then you get to use 45 as the resistance level, the same way as 48 acts. You just kind of shift these levels over depending on how the stock is behaving in pre-market. So a little bit of importance depending on weak stock, weak catalyst. Not too far from its 200-day moving average, hence I think there could be a little bit more room to the downside. Not often do you see companies changing their logo. I guess that's not true. Companies change their logo a lot of times, but most of the times when they're changing their logo is to rejuvenate the company, to bring it back to life. The fact that they even have to bring the company back to life, bring me back to life. Anyways, the fact that they even have to bring it back to life shows you that they are not doing good, and the numbers are kind of staying true to that fact at the moment too. What was I trying to do over here? CBRL, Cracker Barrel. Damn it, I was trying to do something and I completely got sidetracked. What was I trying to do? Oh, right. I was trying to look at Cracker Barrel's PE ratio. CBRL, what is Cracker Barrel's PE ratio? 19 and forward PE of 1375. Now that does turn me down a little bit on the short side, but when a setup shows up so clean, so beautiful, so fresh and so clean, with the 5% average daily range, decent volume on the name too. If we do get a volume spike on this name, look, 4 million shares is not a lot, but 4 million shares, is better than 2 million, 1 million shares. So if we do see that volume coming in tomorrow on pops into 48.50, or it gets below 45 and then pops into 45, I'm looking forward to see how that gives us a trade setup tomorrow. Now the next stock I'm going to head over to is Bullish. See how this name reacted today. And is there a way for me to quickly go here? Turn that off. There you go. I didn't like that at all. I want to turn. Oh, but if I turn it off, it turns it off in my comment browser too. That's lame. Oh, maybe I could whitelist Benzinga's app. Yes, that's what I should do. I should whitelist Benzinga's app. Where's extensions? Open in Chrome. Turn on dark mode. And then whitelist Benzinga. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Alright, now I can open up Benzinga again. And I can turn on my dark mode. And I shouldn't be worrying about... Shouldn't have to worry about... Yeah, there we go. Oh, I'm a genius, chat. Absolute 300 IQ. 999 IQ human sitting in front of you. Jesus. All right, Bullish IPO. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Bullish, bullish, bullish. How did you do today? We're going to open up a couple links. Come on, Benzinga. There's nothing there. How about this one? Nothing there. Actually, there is something there, but not what I want to see. No, I'm not reading that whole report, dude. What happened to this one, Benzinga? They slacking on this one. This report came out at 8:09 a.m. Wait, this company reported in pre-market? Looks like they actually may have reported in pre-market. Did they report or did they not report? Looks like a nothing burger event in the after hours. I'm not sure where Earnings Whispers got its calendar from, but they said that they were supposed to report today. But I'm not really seeing anything on Benzinga. I'm not seeing anything on. Is this it? Oh no, that's the Gemini IPO. I'm not seeing anything on. I'm not seeing anything about their earnings report anywhere, so I guess Bullish did not report, but still worth keeping an eye on maybe because they did report today or came out with some news catalyst. And if Bullish gets back above recent ranges with some volume, with crypto moving back up, not the worst thing to leave on the watch list. But sadly, that's all she wrote for the earnings catalyst. There are a couple stocks tomorrow that you could potentially keep an eye on. DRI or FDS, but both of these names are not the names that I'm really interested in day trading. FDS could potentially be something to keep an eye on now that I'm looking at it. Nice little breakdown recently going into an earnings report. That could extend that move that it's creating if the stock reports negative tomorrow pre-market. So FDS might be something to keep an eye on. I would love to see what the recent news catalyst was before earnings report that caused the stock to break down like that. But this is also like a boomer name if I remember correctly. But woo, look at that one. Getting below its 200 weekly moving average. And ever since then, just really pressuring to the downside, selling beginning. This company is just barely as old as I am. Or IPO'd at least, maybe older than me in terms of founding and so on. But this is very interesting. Getting below that big 380, 380, 390 area. And ever since then, just basically kickstarting that move to the downside. On the daily, you can see that happening at 360 over here. Volume increasing as we're going to the lower side too. So all of these things are worth keeping an eye on. I think FDS just deserves, randomly got thrown into the watch list now. It wasn't going to be on the watch list, but now deserves a spot on the watch list. Let's see pre-market if some volume expansion comes in. The stock gets absolutely destroyed, pushes much lower, and then depending on its PE ratio, its earnings, the sentiment and so on, potentially gives you a long or potentially gives you a short on pops. So multiple ideas they're already brewing just by looking at the daily chart, the weekly chart on FDS going into tomorrow. Now we get to go party with a fun name, but the IPO sector has actually not been hot meaning for the longs. IPOs have had this really big reputation of just ripping to the north side, running up every single time. I think, what was it, CoreWeave, FIG, which was Figma, Circle, all of these IPOing at ridiculous evaluations and running up drastically, created this almost NTSK, created this almost like a loop, not a loophole, but it created a lot of buyers into IPOs, made a lot of people really want to go out there and buy IPOs. And then ever since then, it's just been sell IPO, sell IPO, sell IPO. So it's been destructive if you are long for the IPO, but if you're a day trader, especially with awesome softwares and brokers like my broker, I get to buy shorts for IPOs for fairly cheap. It's like usually around $3 to $6 for 100 shares, and just shorting IPOs has been so profitable right now. So watching to see how Netscope IPOs tomorrow at what price. Currently indicated between 17 to 19. I'm expecting it opens above 25, and then we'll see where it goes from there on, depending on where the market is also. Let's quickly go see what the company actually does. A couple keywords already standing out because my eye is trained to look for these keywords these days. Netscope is redefining security and networking for the era of cloud and AI. That's the keywords right there. We built Netscope One, our unified cloud-native platform, from the ground up to solve the challenge of securing and accelerating the digital interactions of enterprise in this new era. Organizations rely on Netscope One platform to provide profound contextual intelligence into their data and digital interactions, securing them with precision without sacrificing the digital experience. We leverage our patented technologies to enable dynamic, granular, context-aware policies that allow us to protect sensitive data, stop threats, support regulatory compliance, and evaluate the digital experience. So it looks like for the most part they are a security, cloud security type of company, somewhere in the same realm of Cloudflare, Snowflake cybersecurity, maybe not Snowflake, but Cloudflare, and in that basket, I think that's what we're looking at. Sanjay Berry sounds like an Indian guy. Let's go, love to see that. Let's quickly go look a couple statistics. $7 to $8 billion company, so a legitimate company, but no PE ratio, so not profitable yet. But are they growing in terms of revenue? And looks like they are year to year, 2024 to 2025. You're getting about a 32% growth, and from there to now, you're getting about a little bit more growth. Not as drastic as the same one before, but you can see gross profit growing up at the same time from same time before. So money is coming in. Operating income going down. Expenses, okay. For the most part, they're heading in the right direction, so this is looking good. I'm not sure though how big of a competitor they are to Netscope. I mean, to Netflare, which is Cloudflare. Saying that they're a $6 to $7 billion company is actually pretty huge, and they're offering about $1 million. They're expected to open 17 to 19. I'm gonna say they're gonna open somewhere above $25. So I'm gonna put in $25 as my guess as an inflection level. And obviously high priority IPOs are always high priority, so watching this one up there. Well, my new core just got smacked after hours. Oh, what happened to new core? Let's go take a look at it. Looks like a nothing on new core. I'm pretty sure. Oh, this is NU Holdings. New core is NUE. Yes, that's NUE. And it looks like it indeed got slammed back down over here into previous support areas on new core. Potentially getting below this area would make it drop into the 200-day moving average, where it would base out at, and then dropping below that would make it open up more downside. So let's go check out what happened on NUE using Benzinga real quick, see if we can catch why. Oh, it's an earnings play. Okay. Nucor announces guidance for third quarter. Nucor shares are trading lower after the earnings report. This is at 2 o'clock. This is the earnings report. Let's quickly see. So GAAP estimate was 261. They reported. Oh, that's the next quarter. Guiding a lot lower for the next quarter, and that is why they're taking a beating. So this report just came out about half an hour ago, and you're seeing that move take place. So yeah, a little bit of a downside move on Nucor, sadly. What is this? A 10% move, 5% move. It's not even a 10% move. Currently holding off at a previous support area, still above the 200-day moving average. If you ask me, that doesn't look too bad on the daily chart. But one thing that does look bad is that guide down. That they are guiding down about almost 50 cents lower than the estimates. So that doesn't look too good. You want to see how they're guiding on the revenue. You also want to make sure that you are looking into other things on their earnings report, like how are they growing year to year and so on. Is this just an overreaction? What is the PE of the stock and so on? Here is the actual numbers for the earnings report. Expects, that's for the third quarter. Oh, maybe they didn't have an earnings report. They just gave you a preliminary earnings report. Yeah, they just gave you a preliminary earnings report, and because of that, the stock basically crushed to the downside. Looks like that's basically it. What's Cracker Barrel earnings bad? Being down if 34 could bounce. I think we talked about Cracker Barrel just, not too long ago. It's now getting below 45, 44. Anywhere between this area, as long as it pops and finds rejection, I think it's continued to look for a short sale. It is much below its 200-day moving average. Not much, but it's below its 200-day moving average, so it's not really a long for me until it gets a little bit lower. Somewhere like maybe 35s, then we can talk about the long. But right now, I'm more interested for the short. So just looking for the pops. Tomorrow pop into 48, or even a short near 45 for a bigger move downside would be worth watching for Cracker Barrel. Next stock on the watch list over here. Back to regular watch list. Ooh, Pony actually getting above $17. Almost forgot about this name. This is a name worth watching, but maybe not, because what is it? Lyft had a deal today with Waymo. LYFT had a deal with Waymo, and they popped up fairly well to the upside. They closed below 23 though. I wanted them to close above 23. Not bad. 23.30 is where the VWAP is showing up around also. And yeah, pretty much 22.50 to 23.50 is going to be a battle. Once we get above this 23.50, I think LYFT is a good name to keep an eye on. Pony is making a little bit of a run up, just the daily chart. You guys have heard me talk about this. That's a pretty good breakout opportunity here. But what I said is I want to see a pullback and go sideways. I'm not getting that pullback and go sideways. Instead, it's actually going higher. Thankfully, volume is going lower as it's going higher. So maybe, I will get that pullback that I'm looking for eventually. So just being patient at the moment, but for sure a high important name for the swing and for the day trade. That line is at 1650. So ideally, you don't want to see the stock below 1650, but 17 is the inflection level. Ideally, it doesn't get below 17, but if it does get below 17, you still have this breakout level, previous resistance turning into support. So previous resistance 1650, you don't want to see that final line in the sand breaking once 17 breaks, or if 17 breaks. Someone in the chat saying PayPal deal with Google might be one to watch tomorrow. Did they announce something like that? I'm not sure if they did. Oh, looks like, yeah, could be something. They popped up over here in the intraday hours, regular trading hours. But even if it's a good one to keep an eye on, I want to see it get above this area, and then it's interesting. I was looking forward for something over here for the earnings move, and the stock just never did that, right? So not interested for a swing trade. Like, guys, market is at all-time highs. QQQ basically closed at what, yesterday's high today, almost around that area. Markets is at insane levels at the moment, and here you have stocks that are struggling below 200-day moving averages. These are not the names really that you want to keep an eye on for the swing names. They're just not going to do much for you. Instead, when the market pulls back, these are the names that are going to push down even harder, and you're going to be stuck with the bag, right? So you got to be very careful. For example, MicroStrategy. Bitcoin's going up higher, but MicroStrategy is doing what? Absolutely nothing. It's going sideways and basically dying off. What is it going to do when Bitcoin's going to start moving back to the downside? It's going to die off even harder. Instead, look at what Coinbase is doing. No matter how bearish I am on Coinbase, Coinbase is actually above its 200-day moving average, reclaiming its earnings VWAP. as Bitcoin is moving higher. This one is reacting better to Bitcoin than Coinbase, than MicroStrategy has been reacting to Bitcoin. So the same idea, when the stocks are not reacting so well to the overall market reacting well, you don't really want to keep an eye on these names. And for the most part, I know all of you, maybe not all of you, but most of you are long only traders. You're not short traders over here. So these names won't be beneficial for you because you guys won't be able to capitalize on it. If it does get above 71 though, then that's a whole different game. I can set an alert and then we can be ready for it. Until then, I'm not interested as to what happens on PayPal. But looks like, as you said, there was a news catalyst for it. Let me quickly go see what the news catalyst was. Google, PayPal, Inc. multi-year partnership on digital commerce. Alphabet, Google, PayPal said Wednesday that'll team up with and harness PayPal's global payment infrastructure, Google's expertise in AI to deliver new experiences, and what's called agentic commerce. That's pretty cool. AI-powered agents performing tasks like discovering new products, comparing its options. That's also amazing. The company also intends to develop standards for agentic commerce and advocate for adoption for best practices, including Google's agent payment protocol, which it describes as an open source protocol for AI agents to make transactions on behalf of users. This is all very interesting to me because of the amount of agentic work that I do currently based off of Perplexity browser, and you can see how Google Chrome is now trying to step in and not only provide the agents but also create a framework that other people can use, also open source. That's Google's #1 branding. So going through the open source protocol that others can lean on, basically creating a framework, a law, a step-by-step process, and I'm loving what I'm seeing over here. PayPal will also partner with Google Cloud to overhaul its technology foundations, applications, and infrastructure. The company said, we will bring PayPal's products and services to billions of Google users and redefining what's possible at global scale. This is amazing. This is all great news. Sadly, this is the only reaction that you got out of this name off of that news. That sucks. Off of such an amazing news on PayPal, you would expect to see 1 million shares traded on in like what in this time span and going off to ridiculous heights. So that makes me a little turned off on this, if I'm being honest. But yeah, the news was very, very bullish, so it does deserve a spot on the watch list just because of the news. But because of the daily chart, it deserves some shade thrown at it. But once it gets above that 71, I think it's really all systems go. So where did my alert go? Did my alert get deleted? I think my alert got deleted. So throw in that alert for yourself, for myself. Not even, it's actually $70. I think once it gets above 70, you can start looking at this, honestly. It's like once it starts getting above 70, there's only like, well, $1 room, 70, 71. So that's the room over there that I want to see it fight. I want to see it pull back to 71, sorry, 70 to the downside, fine buying at 70. I want to see it test 71 and then rip through 71. That's like the only real scenario where I can see PayPal doing something like this, like an absolute stick tomorrow, because that news is actually pretty good. In my opinion, that's a pretty good news. But here's after hours, no volume, no reaction. Like what? That looks like a nothing burger reaction to such a great news. Very, very sad. And I was actually a PayPal buyer, investor for a very long time. I had to sell it for a loss. Yeah. AAOI looking great. Yesterday's breakout, 2 days ago breakout. Yesterday you got the dip and bounce right off of the 9-day moving average, or you can even say the trend line. Today it tried to sell off again, but then it bounced right back up and basically closed at $30 or around $30. In the after hours, it's continuing to slowly go higher. So a very, very clean reaction to FOMC, basically the FOMC chart at the end of the day. So I'm liking what I'm seeing over here. I am currently long on this name. It has a 10% intraday moving possibilities. So if it does get above $30 tomorrow, I think we're easily seeing 32 coming into play, which makes the stock interesting for the day trade, for the swing trade, and you know, all baskets at the end of the day. So watching 30 as the inflection level, because that's my trigger mark to add to my position for the swing account. And then we're watching $31.50, $32 as the resistance area to see if the stock is going to find some selling around there. If it doesn't find selling around there, I think it's really going to blast off and continue going to the upside. So watching $30 to $32 as a whole zone, but 30 will be my trigger for holding 30 cleanly for 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. We're able to build buying above 30. That's my trigger to go long on AAOI into $32. PLAY, Dave & Buster's recent IPO, I think yesterday. Yeah, nothing burger move at the moment. You're getting a pop right back to 22 and then some selling offer opportunities around 22. I think I'm just going to delete that name from my watch list for tomorrow because there's just so many better names over here for us to talk about. So it's not worth my time at the moment. Let's go to Tesla. Tesla showing you amazing support. Again, very similar to AAOI, the way that these 3 days have set up, in the meaning that, my god damn it, there's a nice little breakout. After the breakout, you got an inside day and then another inside day, but both of these days we're closing at the high area. Even though we're pushing to the middle of the day or even low of the ranges, we're still able to bounce right back. And the fact that FOMC reaction was overall positive by the market for the most part, and you can see how Tesla reacted to FOMC, showing you that, hey, daddy's still home. Tesla and Elon not ready to sell his positions anytime soon. So we're looking for that next blast off on Tesla into $500. Like, that is imminent at this point, which would be an all-time high and a new all-time high post-split. Imagine 500 coming into play. Elon's the richest guy in the world again. Sadly, Tesla will not be a $3 trillion company because Google is a $3 trillion company, but it will be, you know, once again, Elon the richest company and a new all-time high, and then your boy who gets to ride his position on TSLL. I might even add to my position above 20. So the Tesla TSLL just giving you these opportunities to keep an eye out for. Awesome day trade coming into play tomorrow. Given how the market reacted to FOMC, if Tesla gets above that level, I think you are, you know, idiot to not buy any shares tomorrow above 430, 428. So that's your zone of inflection. It says resistance 428. I'm going to say 428 to 430. That's the inflection. If buyers are coming above 430, whoa, pause. Weird language, weird structure of sentence. If buyers are able to show support above 430, this stock is going to skyrocket tomorrow, given how FOMC just played out. So I am very excited to see how Tesla plays out tomorrow. And if we get above 430, you might not be able to buy TSLL at 20. You might have to buy TSLL at 22 or something higher. So I'm just letting you know, make sure you do the math, do the conversion. You might not even be able to do that at all because Tesla might open up in the overnight market at 430 for all we know. So that's going to be ridiculous. And I'm very excited because now I get to day trade the overnight market with my prop account. That is an awesome feature. I guess I could have already done that on my personal account anyways, but the buying power that I'll be able to tap into will be a lot greater than my buying power that I have because I'm a broke boy. Anyways, okay, Google, not a name to day trade at the moment. You know, just it's a, what does Jim Cramer say? Don't day trade it, hold it, or something like that. So yeah, don't day trade it, just hold it. Enjoy the share price value going up for yourself. Sadly, I can't do that for myself, but you can if you have some Google shares. Nvidia looking fairly bad here. I mean, that's not good. Nvidia holding below its 50-day moving average now, and then you're about to see the 90-day sorry, the 9-day, which is already below the 50-day, and you're about to see the 21-day, which is also below the 50-day. Okay, so both of the shorter term moving averages are below the 50-day moving average. Good things don't happen in this area usually, because now if we start to get below, potentially a 200-day moving average test incoming on Nvidia, which means SMH, which is a semiconductor ETF, potentially having some weakness in the near future. So you want to be careful, and it is very hard to expect markets to continue going up every single day when Nvidia and the semiconductors are not looking strong. Right now, Nvidia is not looking strong at all. You have the other partner in crimes that are your AMDs, AVGO. AVGO is actually at all-time high. ASML is something to keep an eye on. That's also at all-time high, I think. Nope, but 52-week high or something. ALAB at all-time high. ANAT, which is nothing to do with semiconductors if I remember correctly. But goddamn, ALAB. Fuck. Wow. What a move. I could have bought in this whole area, but no, I was stubborn because I'm a bot. Anyways, ALAB going up. I mean, at the end of the day, just watch the ETF, right? SMH. If SMH starts to look weak under the 50-day moving average, that could start to be a little weak for the overall market. But good thing for swing accounts. Good thing for swing accounts because you get to buy Nvidia on a dip. Right now, you do have a little bit of a negative sentiment on Nvidia. Excuse me. Right now, you do have a little bit of a negative sentiment on Nvidia, which is what China coming in and saying we're going to ban Nvidia chips for China. So basically, China trying to boost their own chips for themselves. Or you know, maybe trying to say that they're going to use TSM, or maybe I don't know what their plan is, but yeah, TSM holding fairly well here in this range, not bad at all for TSM. But Google, I don't see any day trade over there at the moment. Apple, I don't see anything. Oh, I do see something, and I love what I'm seeing for the day and the swing. Let's go, Apple. Over here, it looked very, very bad, but thankfully, I diamond-handed it. I absolutely diamond-handed it. I put my stop below the 200-day moving average, so I didn't have to worry about it at all, to be honest. But on the way down here, it came back to my average price, which kind of made me upset. But now look at Apple right back to the range high and getting ready to break out of the range high, and then you have the beautiful, the lovely golden cross coming into play. So watching to see how Apple reacts above 241, 241.50, because a move above 241, 241.50 potentially gets us ready for a climb up to 260 on Apple. So this is interesting. I'm not going to give it purple level priority like Tesla. Tesla just belongs in the purple basket after the recent breakout, but this one does belong in the high priority basket. So inflection level 241, that means that you know, if it's holding above 241, that's good enough for me. But the resistance area is 241.30 to 241.50. So you want to make sure that you're not finding sellers in this area if you're buying at 241. Okay, I'm adding to my position, so I'm not really worried about my swing trade. But for the day trade, if you're buying 241 breakout, you want to make sure that buyers are actually showing up at 241, 241.50, and then you're able to actually ride this position much higher. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck with this name tomorrow. Okay, so make sure that you are listening to your game plan and the setups. Amazon, nothing there for us to be excited about. Meta and Microsoft, I don't really day trade them, and I don't want to swing trade them either because they're too expensive, so I'm gonna skip past them. Nvidia looking fairly weak after the China news. I'm not sure how to read this. I mean, yeah, that's fairly weak over there. Potentially a drop into 160, and we'll see if there's a you know, some sort of a bounce for us to participate in. At the moment, I would say Nvidia is one of those super stocks, though. It's not like a name that you leave alone and it'll do you good. Watching Nvidia every day is not a bad idea, honestly. But sometimes just leaving it alone might be better for you than doing something with it. tomorrow might be one of those days. We'll see if it reacts to FOMC better, if the market starts to go back higher, and if Nvidia starts to reclaim 170, maybe there's something there to be interested about. But for now, I'm not really seeing a clear-cut picture, day trade, swing trade out there with Nvidia. So sometimes doing nothing is the best thing to do. AMD, same thing. You know, maybe it's the same story with all of these semiconductors at the moment. Doing nothing is the same best thing to do. Micron actually stands out. TSM stood out not too long ago. Micron stands out like a sore thumb. Let me delete these 3 lines. And then you have that all-time high right at today's high slash the most recent high. So what was this? 159.56, 160.59. That's 160.34. So basically today's high, 160 to 160.50 in Micron. You want to, let's just say 160 to 161, right? Nice and simple. Anywhere from 160 to 161. You're watching to see how Micron reacts, and then a potential breakthrough above that and hold above that. You know, buyers coming in and defending 160 or defending 161 or anywhere above 160 or 161 higher than those two prices will be bullish enough for me to look for a long on Micron. So Micron stands out. Actually, I'm going to upgrade the priority on this name, because if the market looks good, I think Micron seems to be the one that people are really putting their money towards. So making sure that I want to take advantage of that one. AVGO, a little bit of a pullback to its 9-day average. Also, its earnings VWAP. I don't see anything over there at the moment. Oracle closed the deal with TikTok, so that I thought would give it a bullish momentum, but nothing really. But I guess if anything, that now makes the stock go sideways even more instead of going all the way back. So as expected, you know, some sideways action as the moving averages catch up, and then some moves back up north on Oracle. Given the TikTok deal, I think that is more so an expectation on Oracle now. Next stock, Riot. I want to see if you're continuing your breakout. You are continuing your breakout. Looking good. Looking good. So I said I don't want to buy here. Did I say I want to buy here? I think I did say I want to buy here. But you want to be careful for 1850 and 19. So there's some levels up here. But if you zoom out to a weekly chart, I mean, this is Riot's weekly chart here. Look at that solid weekly base. If you think you're late, not yet. I mean, this market, if this market's just getting started, there was a statistic that if a rate cut happens, the market usually goes on a rally for 9 months or something crazy like that. If that's true, these moves are just getting started. You know, Riot getting above 16 and you feeling that you missed out is valid. But these moves are just getting started. So lots of fun times coming up ahead. I mean, look at that breakout right there. That would have been a nice breakout to participate in. At what, 12, 13 bucks, and now you're watching it go to 18, 20. But yeah, I mean, you're just now getting back above the 200 weekly moving average. The stock is just going up on recent news catalysts. I forget what the recent news catalyst was. Something about providing energy to AI or something like that. I'm paraphrasing here. But yeah, look at that daily chart breakout. Look at the weekly chart breakout. And there's still some resistance levels up top, but for sure a name to keep an eye on. And then there's other names in the same sector over here. BITF, WULF. Still continuing over here for BITF. I mean, now it's at $3. We saw this name at 150. That's what, 200%, 100% growth now. So what more do you want from it? 100% growth in 4 or 5 sessions. You have Baba. Was it Baba? I think Baba. No, not Baba. What stock was it? IonQ, which is up 50% in 5 sessions. So stocks are going absolutely nuts, parabolic at the moment. Insane. BITF going to the upside. You know, still keeping an eye on for the first red day setup. Potentially somewhere in these resistance pockets where the stock has previously struggled in. We'll see some opportunities there. Keeping an eye on see $3.30 to $3.50 to $4 area. Potentially some opportunities there on BITF. Was that a trend line? No, it wasn't. We'll see how that one comes in. First red day watch. Is WLF still going in the same way? There is no first red day here, but ULF is actually giving you a very good long setup over here for those of you who missed out on it. Sadly, you know, your long setup started somewhere here. Somewhere here is your main entry. Somewhere here would be your secondary entry. You're a little far away, but this support right below 10.20, right below $10 or around $10, that's good support to go long at 11 for me. So WULF, not a first red day watch. Inflection, sorry, support is now 10 for me. Inflection is 11. If we're above 11, I might watch this for swing and for a day. Actually, watch for swing buy at 11. Watch for day trade above 11.50. Is there anything else that I said something similar for day and for swing? No, that was it. Okay. APLD, same basket of names. $20 getting ready for the 3-day breakout type of action. And yeah, nothing else to say really. Just 20 or higher. If it fails to get above 20, then you're potentially quickly getting out on that name over there too. APLD. There's just so many names at the moment. Goodness gracious. How's Intel doing? Dead. Oh, QCOM breaking out. Now that's fun. QCOM finally catching up to the party over here. I called out this breakout to you guys coming into play a few days ago. It actually came into play yesterday, and today was a successful breakout of yesterday. So QCOM 165, that's your inflection level. Buying today, putting a stop under yesterday's low below 160, or even today's low 162, 163. It would be fine enough for me, you know, putting a stop below 9-day moving averages at 162. I would rather do 162 than 163 just to protect myself from a failed break or whatever. But yeah, that's getting ready for some potential fun action to the upside. Qualcomm missed out on a lot of moves over here. It's actually very close to its 200 weekly moving average. It's in the semiconductor basket. Didn't participate in the whole AI semiconductor rally at all. And if it finally wants to play catch up, I think that's an opportunity for me to be involved in. For swing, mainly. Not full day trade because volume still not really growing as I wanted to. We need maybe a real catalyst for a day trade. AMAT, how are you doing? I don't really day trade AMAT anyways, but AMAT now above the 200-day moving average, and I called out this breakout right here. If you took that breakout, shout out to you. You're now what, 10%, 2%, 3% in the money? Irrelevant, but you're in the money. Shout out to you. SOXL holding above 30, that's important. That's the 3 times leverage ETF SOXL. As long as it holds above 30, continue looking long on semiconductor names, especially Qualcomm and Micron. That's a good one also. Some drone names, RCAT getting ready. Should have got some at 10 yesterday. Goofed, I missed out. Didn't buy any at 10. Actually, I was sick and sleeping in bed, so I didn't buy any. But here's the post hour. Post hour is down 7%. I think that's a dip buy opportunity from the gods being gifted to me. I don't know if it's from the gods. Drone tech firm red slides on offering plans. Announces public offering a common stock. I mean, hey, you only drop that much on an offering news. If you reclaim 11 tomorrow, that's even more of a bullish reason for me to buy some shares of this name. So inflection 10 to 11, watching this name. I missed out on a couple days, missed out today today, but someone in my group chat mentioned RCAT, so I don't want to miss out on this one for the next eventual run that it's going to have. The fact that it only dropped 7% on a drone offering and dropped into previous supports and popped off of that, even better. I love it. Next stop is UMAC. Next stock, sorry. Still waiting for this one to break out. Looks like it actually did a couple days ago or yesterday. Yeah, nice breakout yesterday. Inside day today. So this one's getting ready for all systems go long above 12. That is a drone company getting ready to fly to the upside. 12 and higher, I am ready to punch long on UMAC. Let's party, baby. And here comes the quantum names, the nuclear names that are going nuclear. So obviously a name to keep an eye out tomorrow. I think Ion Q will be a high priority name for a first red day short on the option side. You know, possibly be able to snag some Friday expiry options on this name for it to close, to push lower. But with its fresh new news catalyst that it had after hours, you might want to be a little careful. So sector is blasting off. What was even the news catalyst? I can't even remember what the news catalyst was. Benchmark target raise of $75. IonQ partnered with U.S. Department of Energy Advanced Quantum Technology in Space, targeting orbital demo for secure communications via satellite platform. What? Now it's a defense and technology company? What is going on here? These acquisitions boost IonQ technology and expand its quantum sensing portfolio. Oh, wow, man. Maybe don't short IonQ tomorrow and don't short Quantum tomorrow. These names are going to go insane. They're going to just start going parabolic, and I'm going to regret selling some shares today of RGTI on that flush. On that flush, I sold some shares of RGTI. I'm still holding. I ain't a complete paper-handed bitch. I'm still holding some shares, and I'm loving the current momentum in the sector. But the fact that this sector is now a little too far too quick, there is no way to initiate a new long. If you missed out, boohoo, sad story. You know, there could be some names that you can play catch up on. ARQQ could be one. QBTS, I think. No, not QBT. QUBT was the other one. Even QUBT, I thought gapped up drastically. Thankfully, it didn't. QUBT could be the other one. LAES could be the other one. There are a few stocks that can play catch up, but I'm not interested in playing catch up. I'm interested in the one that play, we're fucking going right now, and we're doing it with or without you. So that's IonQ, that's RGTI, that's QBTS, and they're flying. So these names you got to keep an eye on. If not, you know, it's just be ready to watch them move and hold a big L on your forehead to yourself. OKLO, nuclear names, not really going as nuclear as I thought they would be. Recently, they broke all-time high, or at least one of them broke all-time high. Basically giving you a pattern that I've seen very often. Now you just have the 9-day moving average catch up, and then this breaks all-time high again. So potentially some dip buying opportunities at 90, selling opportunities at 95, which is actually sounding like deja vu. I feel like I've said that exact same thing a few days ago. So buying in this area, buy at the low, sell at the high, hold some for the eventual breakout, and if you're feeling ballsy, if you're feeling gutsy, you can even add on the breakout for the swing trade over there on OKLO. For the day trade though, I need to see the stock above 97. If it's not above 97, there's simply no day trade. If it's struggling at 97, there could be some shorts to ride it back into 95, 93, or somewhere into the VWAP area. So not a high priority for the short side, however, but for sure a name to keep an eye on. IonQ, RGTI, very high priority names tomorrow. Pre-market will be very important. These are both names at new all-time highs now. Pretty sure RGTI is at all-time high. Yeah, just today broke all-time high. So both of them going into new all-time highs just makes the names even more fun. Does RGTI have a high short float? Will be an interesting question to go find out. Not RGTI. Do you have a high short flow? 16% short flow. That makes me very excited. Let's burn those shorts and sell, you know, just straight to the upside, baby. Let's get it. Next stock on the watch list over here is RR, robotics company. Wanted it to close above $4 today. It didn't. Still, you know, doing okay. Basically the same candle as yesterday. Closing above 4 today would have been really bullish, but the fact that it was 2 pennies away from closing above 4, I'm going to stick to my rules, and I'm not going to buy the shares after hours. So if it closes tomorrow above 4, then I'll buy those shares and I'll put the stop below this low. Without that, I'm not going to do it. Otherwise, you know, the stock can actually break out and I'll buy it here. I'm okay with doing that. I'm gonna stick to my rules. Probably a little idiotic to even think about it that way, but I'm gonna stick to my rules. Close above 4 and then I'll buy in this area, and then I'll put my stop below this low, or I'll buy the breakout. Those are the only two ways I'm adding to my position. I'm currently already wrong. What am I, Chinese? Whoa. Currently I'm already long, but I'm not going to, you know, add to my trade ridiculously just because I want more exposure. That's not the right way to do it. Okay, so watching this name just as a swing trade watcher. For the day trade also, I think things can get very interesting, but it's more of a swing trade watch for me. A couple of names, just I'm going to quickly swing by over here. Roblox bouncing by from the 21-day moving average, insane. Unity holding around, not bad. EA Sports, I recently, I just at the start of the stream talked about EA. I mean, guys, EA just recently dropped a very good, fun game that I'm having a lot of enjoyment playing with. It's called Skate Dot or Skate Period. It's basically Skate 4. It's fun. It's lots of entertainment on there. You know, microtransactions, which they're not gonna get me. I'm not gonna end up spending money on that idiotic game. But there's probably kids and skaters who will spend money on that game. There's also Battlefield 6 coming out very soon. Apparently that game is a lot of fun. I've seen streamers have a lot of fun with it. My friends were talking about how much fun they were having on that game. So Battlefield 6 is right around the corner. Both of them as a combined basket, as a catalyst, along with earnings catalyst, which was recently. You can see how the stock is now holding above the earnings VWAP on this recent dip, reclaiming the 9-day moving average and the 21-day moving average. So getting back above 174 on EA makes it look really good for a swing trade for me, with the stop right under somewhere, you know, below these recent lows at 170. So watching EA for swing with stop under 170s for the whole I like video games catalyst. Uber actually sold off today off of the Lyft catalyst. I thought Uber might actually break out on the Lyft catalyst with the sympathy trade, but no, it didn't play out that way at all. It sold off and went the opposite direction, which I guess makes sense. You know, a competitor, Lyft actually signed a deal with the competitor. The competitor happens to be Google. Google also announced PayPal. You know, all these things combined, it just seems like companies are picking underdog companies to partner with instead of partnering with companies that are already up there. So if that's the new story, then obviously Uber potentially seeing some downfall down the road as the secondary companies are seeing some appreciation. So Lyft making a little bit of a run up. For me, 23 is the important level. Once Lyft starts to stay above 23, that's the inflection level, then things can get exciting. But 23.30 was a clear, obvious selling area today, intraday. After the stock whipped back and forth, it just couldn't get above 23.30. So getting above 23.30 will be all things go, but 23 is still the main inflection level, even dollar area for me. You can just say the whole zone if you are interested. Grab, you know, missed out on the swing trade over here, so can't really do too much. You could say today was first red day. So if the stock gets below $6 or $5.90 tomorrow, that opens up the second red day on this name, which is actually a very good short setup. And you can potentially capitalize on a really good move to the downside without having to risk too much. You're risking a move back above $6. And that's basically 10 cents, but you could get a move to 550, which is 50 cents, right? So you're risking 10 cents to make 50 cents, a 5:1 risk to reward over there. Sounds great to me. Something that's standing out though right now in the after hours is the stock already is higher than 615 after hours. It actually closed above 6. It's closed well above 6. It closed 610 in the after hours. So things don't look like they're gonna set up for the second red day, but given that today was first red day, potentially a second red day opens up if we actually close below Tuesday's low and today's low, both of which happens to be around 590. So 590 to 60 is your trigger to look for a short. Second red day if stock can get below 590. Easy short, not much risk. Now we get to go to some of the other stocks that have been going really parabolic recently. Western Digital, Seagate Technologies, and SanDisk. This is not the action that you want to see for a stock that you're looking for as a first red day setup. So nope, nowhere close to the action. Still not parabolic yet enough apparently, and they're gonna want to see the stock go insane again. So a little bit of a breather for these names, and they might go insane again. Be careful. Western Digital seems like $100 is a very clear-cut inflection level. If Western Digital actually closes or has trouble near $100 tomorrow, that might be your trigger to short it. But if it's like, you know, battling 100 a lot and eventually loses the battle at 100, which means buyers are coming in, then it's not a short anymore. You got to be careful. Losing the battle for the short side, I mean, okay? So if buyers are coming in at 100, don't fight for the short anymore, because look at how strong the other stocks are in the same sector. SNDK, STX, these stocks are not done going up yet. SNDK has yet to have its first red day short. So it's just no battling this name for you. You're just gonna lose if you got an option short over here, or if you got option short today. Let it go higher. Let it actually create the first red day short. Then you can ride it to the downside. And I think, you know, SNDK should set up very soon. Very, very soon. Come on, like, this is ridiculous. FRD setup. Where's my FRD setup tag? FRD setup. Did Moderna break 23? I don't even know why it's on my watch list, honestly. Maybe, honestly, you know, what you can do is go long 23, because your risk to reward is insane, you know. But there is the whole vaccination, child morbidities, pregnancy issues from the vaccinations that are coming out at the moment. All those things are causing issues for Moderna and Pfizer. But honestly, the risk to reward here is insane. Go long 23, sell 35. Go long 23, sell 35. And you can just keep doing that until 23 breaks. Maybe 35 is a little bit of an overextension, but, you know, still getting $2-3 pops every single time. And you can just sell options. If you're interested, just kind of sit on both sides of the books and collect premium. I'm just not interested in any of that action. If 23 ever breaks, then I think I'll be interested, but maybe even worth deleting off my damn watch list so I don't be interested in that name. Baba, nice little gap up again on Baba. Almost every single day you're getting a gap up on Baba right now. Just love watching this name. But Short Bear, who I respect a lot, he said he is actually covering some of his Baba position up here. So maybe time for me to think about covering some of my Baba position up here, but loving my Baba long that I've had all the way from down this area. Actually, I think mine was from this area. So loving my Baba long almost 20-30% up on that one. If we can keep going higher, I'm not gonna complain. For the day trade though, for the swing trade, sorry, a little extended, not really entering at the moment. A little pullback would be better. You can also look at it on the weekly chart, on the monthly chart. If you look at it on the weekly and the monthly, I mean the breakouts are just starting, so the room is still has a lot more room to the upside. But for the short term, on the daily term, we're a little bit extended, so not really doing anything with the Chinese names over here, waiting for some sort of a pullback for me to be involved in them. KWEB recently broke out. That was a good one to be participating in. This is again another Chinese ETF like FXI. TIGR, did you do anything interesting? Nope, you pulled back. FUTU, are you doing anything cool? Pulling back. PDD pulling back. PDD breaking out. You guys remember when I called PDT on this breakout 118 and now it's at 135? So PDD breaking out, and Baidu also breaking out if I remember correctly. Yeah, look at that. Baidu breaking out to a new high. And I've been calling Baidu buy from $93 for you guys. So that's a 45% gain on Baidu. So shout out to you if you were listening to me. Maybe I should listen to myself sometimes and buy some Baidu shares also instead of just sitting on Baba. ALAB just keeps going. I don't know why I don't buy in this area. I'm an idiot. ALAB just keeps going. I don't know what to do with it, so I'm just going to not mention it. RDDT looking like it's getting ready for another eventual breakout above this 270. And once it looks strong above that 270, I think it's all systems go. It recently had a price target update to 300 from 215. So watching how this one behaves. Very good reaction today. FOMC actually gave you a really good reaction today. If you were a buy the dip player. If you were a buy the dip player, any of these momentum names that have been having a lot of traction recently, they pulled back to their 9-day moving average, and most of them popped up again. So worth watching to see if they have continuation, if the market breaks out. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, the best chart of the day goes to CRDO. If CRDO gets above its earnings day high, actually no, that was the earnings day high, recent traction up. If CRDO gets above 168.50, I mean, that might be the best play for the swing and the long for everyone. I recently read the earnings report live for you guys, and the earnings report was amazing. That earnings report was banger, and I should have bought it that day itself, but I think I got sidetracked and I missed out on the second day, and then I completely forgot the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth and the seventh and the eighth and the ninth and the 10th day. And now that I'm looking at it on the 10th day, now I'm greedy. So I said no to 140, but 170, yes, give it to me. At the end of the day, it's all setups. This is a very clean support. Recent earnings, move, flag, support, 9-day moving average, catching up. If we do get above 168.50, realistically, the stock shouldn't get back under today's low, which is what, 157.77, 160. So I'm risking about $10, $13 for a potential parabolic move into God knows where this name can go to because of their recent earnings report. So I want to be involved in it, especially how AI and stocks that are reporting AI are moving. Let me move this to AI. Where's AI? That's robotics, battery, quantum, AI, healthcare, drones, retail, semiconductors, AI. Yes, that's AI. So CRDO, very, very interested to see how that bad boy sets up. And that's basically all she wrote on the watch list. Let me quickly pull up the Twitter stream, see if anyone has said anything in the chat over there. Nope, zilch, not a single effing message on Twitter. Nothing on Kick, nothing on Twitch, but we do have awesome people on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube viewers. What are you guys talking about over here? AI should give companies productivity gains. However, job loss, stock market versus economy. I mean, we knew that was gonna happen, right? CBRL, we talked about that for the most part. AMNZ, I'm guessing you meant Amazon. AMZN, AMNZ. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you meant Amazon. I don't really see anything for the swing or for the day trade for Amazon too important. We talked about Tesla. Bullish, we talked about that one. Bullish did have the conference call at 5 o'clock. No, that wasn't Bullish. CBRL had a conference call at 5 o'clock. I wanted to keep an eye out for that one. Bullish brought in a little bit more volume after hours, though. It's now pushing above 5%, so it looks like Bullish might not be the worst name to keep an eye on tomorrow, like I mentioned. And if it does reclaim this 56, 57 area, Bullish might just be bullish. So 56 to 57 is the inflection zone on Bullish over there. And I wanted to go see how CBRL reacted to its earnings conference call, and looks like my brain just farted. Looks like it didn't really do a whole lot. Earnings VWAP is now at 45. So tomorrow, you might get a pre-market action below 45 and then a pop and fail at 44 or a pop and fail at 45 is your game plan. That's going to be the setup you're keeping an eye out for. Look at how today's VWAP is at 48. And I wouldn't be surprised if today's VWAP ended at 48. And look at what in my notes. What was the level in my notes? Boom, right? So sometimes math just lines up like this. These levels, these numbers, they just line up and things just are such a beautiful thing. The simulation theory, the math, the simulation theory, it's all real. When you trade the market and you are so infatuated and lose yourself in the markets daily and you see these things happen on a regular basis, like, it is so hard to say that this is just luck and things just happen by pure luck. Like, I'm convinced we are in a 100% simulation. But that's a conversation for a different time, okay? That's a conversation for a different time. Let's quickly head over to I want to go to the earnings calendar from Polymarket. Something that I want to involve more into my oh, you know what, now that we know that Bullish hasn't really reported their earnings report, do we quickly go make a bet on Bullish over here? Bullish. Here's the reports. So they did report 93 cents per share, which is up from a loss of 1. Whoa. Wait, 93 cents per share profit compared to $1.03 loss from same period last year. That's a monster beat. Well, not a beat, but that's a monster growth. The company reported $58.63 million in revenue compared to $49.57 same period. That's not bad also. Trading volume grew from same period last year. Average daily volume totaled from 2 billion versus 1.47 same period last year. Average trading spread 1.3 beeps versus 2.6 beeps from same period last year. These are great things. We are pleased with our results for the quarter. Bullish sees third quarter revenue in the range of $69 to $76 million. That's also up from the quarter over quarter period. Total year trading volume, and trading volume in the range of 133 to 142 billion dollars. That's amazing. And the stock is only up 1.75%. Why? A 190% increase of same period last year, and a 58%. This is a 18% growth in revenue from same period last year. What was this supposed to be? Ah, shit. Is this too late now? Yeah. There's no liquidity, there's no order books. There's like it's already going to resolve at a yes because they are expecting 4 cents negative and they reported a whole dollar. I mean, you would have to spend 99 cents to make 1 cent profit. That's what this means. So there's really no money to be made here, but it's good to see that people, whoever did capitalize on it, was able to make some money if there was any volume here. Ah, there was. These are the people who lost money. These are the people who won money on this position. This person owed 2,000 shares of yes. Would be nice to see what price they held the 2,000 shares at. At an average of 98 cents. What? You spent 98 cents to make 2 cents? What a guy. Okay, look, not my money, not my problem, not my monkey, not my circus, not my problem. But I urge you to not do stupid things like that. Not only is it worth to look for money to be made on these betting opportunities, but it's also good to see how these money making opportunities translate to actually stock market opportunities, because you can make an educated bet and not get caught on this. If you are a FedEx CEO and you know FedEx is going to report their earnings report profitably, you are supposed to not go out there and buy stocks. But what you can do is go out there and put a big bet that FedEx will beat their earnings report, which is supposed to be a $3.62 EPS. So if you go ahead and do that, technically you're not doing something illegal, but you're not allowed to do that on the stock market, right? So things like this are going to make trading a little bit more interesting for earnings season. And I'm very, very excited for the future of earnings catalysts, for the future of earnings trading. And we have Micron on Tuesday next week. You can see how money's already trying to flow in for that. People are already expecting a beat and so on. So yeah, currently FDX expecting a 74% beat on their EPS tomorrow after hours. That's a quick little watch over there. Today we already had FOMC. So tomorrow you have initial jobless claims and then Fed manufacturing index. These are the 3-star events. If you guys want the 2-star events, let me turn those on too. Turn that off. 2-star events, you have the 10-year tips auctions, which is at 12 o'clock. Besides that, I'm not really seeing anything too important. So 8:30, 12 o'clock, and that's basically it. 8:30 and 12 o'clock. The 2 time periods that you have to pay attention for yourselves. Last but not least will be the FOMC rate tool. I want to go see how the rate prediction tools are now coming into play. So we are now at a 25% rate cut, 25 beeps rate cut. So current rate is at 400 to 425. So we're expecting the next interest rate decision date, which is on 29th of October. 87% probability that we're only getting a 25 beeps rate cut. So they're not expecting a 50 beeps rate cut, and they're also actually expecting 12% probability that we're not gonna get a rate cut at all. So these probability numbers are important to keep an eye on as we evolve day by day, depending on each economic data, because markets are going to be priced based on these numbers also. If the probability for a rate cut goes down and the probability for a rate pause goes higher, the market most likely goes lower. But if the probability for the rate cut goes higher and the probability for a 50% rate cut also starts to being priced in, then the market just keeps on going on its momentum that it's already going. And like I said, there's a statistic that after a rate cut, the market usually goes on an insane rally. We haven't had a rate cut since 2020, so we'll see if this is the kickstart of an insane rally. It's been a pleasure to talk about the markets today for the past hour and a half or 2 hours with you fellas. I think I've said basically everything I wanted to, so I'm just going to quickly show you guys my page, my Linktree page. Here's all of my social media links, YouTube, Twitter, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon. All of my social medias up here. My affiliate sponsors, I use all of these softwares every single day to actually day trade. So go check out my affiliate sponsors over here. And last but not least, this link called the charts catalog. It's something you gotta check out. I've been slacking on that a little bit, but I will be picking up on that very soon once I actually start day trading on a full scale system again. Right now I'm just swing trading, so I'm not fully day trading. Once I go on a full system day trade, I'll be doing the chart cataloging and doing my homework again. Right now, there's already like 1,000 charts in there, so no excuse for you to not go check it out. There's 1,000 examples of how to trade, what to look for and what not to look for, and in a stock and in the mover. So go check it out. If you guys enjoyed what I've been talking about, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and follow me on all my links. I'll catch you guys next time tomorrow for the final stream of the week. Go make some money. Peace.